work with a lot of agents that do like one or two deals a year, and then you work with some top producers. Like, what is the trait that you see that kind of separates them?
The top producers, they're all in. Like, this is their job. It's not,
And what do you mean by that? Like, people always say that to me. Like I tell people that all the time, like, you got to be all in, and they're like, the hard part is like, what is it like for them? It's like, what is all in to them? Like, the hard part is all in can mean anything. Like, so what do you mean by all in, that you're seeing like the difference in them? Because some people go to the office every day and do no deals.
Yeah.
So for you, it's like, what is all in?
Even if you're not doing a deal every day, or you're not putting someone under contract every day, or you're not going on listing appointments every day.
I used to hate that when agents be like, you got to go on 7 listings a week. I'm like, who the heck goes on 7 a week?
Half of America has an interest rate that starts with a 3 right now.
I say that, but like, who goes on 7? I go on 7 listing appointments a week. I'm like, you better be selling.
Yeah, and then you look
250 houses a year.
You look up their numbers.
They do 10.
Yeah,
it's like I always love that. You need to be going on a list, or you need to save your afternoons for your appointments. How many appointments are you going on? Like, god dang! Like, am I? So for you, like, what does that mean to you? Or what do you see it as?
I mean, my guys and gals that are crushing it. It's their job. They treat it as if they worked at Bank of America and they had, a 9 to 5 type of thing. They clock in every day, and they have a schedule in place. They have systems in place. Systems is probably the biggest one. They have a CRM that they're actually working, that they're not like a CRM collector.
That's me.
Oh, I have Lions Desk, I have follow up, I have this, I have that. Okay, which one are you using?
I never use any of them.
Okay.
But for you, like, okay, so you said systems. Like, what kind of systems are you kind of seeing people use right now that are working?
Honestly, a lot of our systems that we provide for free. Tycore Tech Farm is probably the biggest one. We've invested so much money into this system, and agents underutilize it. So much. If I can give any piece of free advice out there, get with me and let's get on Tycore Tech Farm like ASAP.
What are you doing with your agents on Tycore Tech Farm?
It's so a lot of circle prospecting. When people come to me and they want to start farming, that's a loaded conversation piece right away. I want to take the idea of farming and really make it, instead of macro, micro. So when people are like, if you came to me and you're like, oh, I want to farm all of Riverside, I'd be like, bro, you live in Orange Crest. Like, let's focus on Orange Crest first.
Even Orange Crest, that was a big mistake I made when I first started. I would mail to all of Orange Crest. It was 8,000 houses. Mm-hmm. You don't realize, like, you do that 5 months in a row, it's so expensive.
Yeah, that's like, what, $5-10 grand, right?
Dude, it was
right off the
so
bat.
expensive. And I was such an idiot for doing that. I've done so many stupid things. But, like, that was way too big. But then I had people like, oh, I farmed 200 houses. I'm like, okay, that's also not going to work either.
Yeah. So what I want to do, like I said, we keep investing a ton of money in a Tycore Tech Farm. And, you look at systems with like AI now, and AI is playing a little bit of it, where we can literally go into Tycore Tech Farm and click a drop down to where it says target farm. And it's going to tell you, out of those 8,000 homes or whatever that you were farming, hey, Adam, just focus on these 322 people. All of a sudden, we're talking, it's more manageable. You could be way more personalized in your approach. You can do
so you're not EDDMing.
So I believe in both of it a little bit. So I think that EDDM is great to build your brand, because people need to know that you're everywhere at all times.
So you're almost double dipping.
But those people that are raising their hand saying that they're going to sell their home soon, you better be like besties.
So like EDDM once a month, and then like those 300 people inside of maybe 3,000, you're hitting them another time a month, more personalized.
I would get even down and dirty and do something like unsolicited CMA.
Yeah.
Something that really kind of puts a dollar sign to their home. You already know that they're raising their hand, like, I'm going to sell my home pretty soon. I'm going to sell my home pretty soon. Who's going to be the one to get the listing? Like, I have, people that come to me all the time. Why did my neighbor list their house with another agent and not me? Oh, it's because
they probably don't even
know you're a real
agent.
estate agent.
Yeah,
they just know you're a nice guy, right? That's something that, you and I connected early on in my career, and I still remember it to this day. You said you need to do 3 things. You said people need to know what you do. people need to like you and you need to be consistent.
Yeah.
And if you do those 3 things, and you know, some of these people, probably the 4 people that are going to watch this thing, I've probably told 4 of the people, you know, that are watching this the same thing. I said, if you want to be consistent in your farming, or if you want to be good at your farming, you got to be consistent. People need to know what the hell it is you're doing, that you can help them buy or sell real estate. And people need to like you.
Well, I think the hard part with farming, it's like, it's not just postcarding like that. And I think that's why, like you said, it needs to be smaller, because like you also need to like door knock that. You also need to circle prospect call that. It should be somewhere you maybe live, so then you could do like community stuff, like renting a dumpster and letting everyone know they can throw their stuff in your dumpster, blah, blah, blah. Like that's, I think the hard part is people just think it's like postcard. You're like, okay, well, that's great, but you have to like knock on the doors and do everything else. That's why I don't farm, because like I know I can't commit to the door knocking and then calling. I can mail it.
Even like, you know, like creative stuff. I mean, it's 4th of July. I live in Upland. Brianna Price does a lot. She puts an American flag on my lawn. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, that's so different than, you know, just the postcard, you know, around Thanksgiving that has a pumpkin pie recipe on it.
Yeah.
Don't be that agent. Just don't be that agent.
The hard part is like what you should be doing is like inviting your past clients to get pies.
Yeah. That way you can see them. Yeah. Right. Bobby Joe Kelly, great client of mine, great friend of mine. Like,